Stanford 1-2. Can't do much better than that. How do you feel right now?
No, you can't. Yeah, I mean, it's ecstatic. I'm over the moon about it. Obviously a perfect scenario. Them going 1-2, and yeah, we've trained really hard for it. Those guys have done really great work all year long. I know indoors didn't quite go the way we wanted it to, but always our focus was to be ready for this weekend, and they did that. So I'm really happy for them. They deserve it. They put in really great work, and they executed a great game plan.
I felt like Kai Robinson in his career has been one of those guys that it's like, how does he not already have a national championship? Because he's just such a great racer, and he just has such a great feel, for when to make those moves and when to make those surges. So now we don't have to talk in that language anymore. But just how awesome is it to see a guy that's given so much to the program, have a moment like that?
Yeah, no, it's great. I mean, he's done so many things. First team All-American in the steeple and the 5K, twice in the 5K, indoor and outdoor, once each, and now winning the 10K, and two-time All-American in cross country. So this is really great for him. I'm really happy for him, and we came in thinking that he was going to be a 3K specialist, and he had other ideas. I'm really glad he proved me wrong on that. Sometimes you look like a genius, and sometimes you don't. So, but anyways, no, he's been great. The guys have been great. And we had some hard luck with some other guys not being able to be here, but that's the way it goes. And but yeah, we're really ecstatic. I'm really ecstatic for him and for Charles.
Was the game plan just to wait to the end and use their speed?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we wanted to see how it played out. We had a few different game plans. I've been watching a lot of Formula One lately, and they have plan A, plan B, and C, and all that with the tires and pit stops. So we kind of went over a few different scenarios, and we had a few different plans on how things may shake out. So I just told, but at the end, they're great racers, and I told them you have to go off your instincts. You have to be flexible, and you have to be able to adjust in a meet like this with such great athletes. So I just told them, I said, hey, I trust you guys. These are the scenarios you look for, and then from there, it's on you guys to kind of execute and look at see how you're feeling and adjust the way you go.
So at Pac-12, Kai ran the 15 and the 5, right? What was thought process behind that?
Yeah, I mean, he's got really good speed. To be honest, I mean, he ran 3:42.99 at Pac-12 final, kicking the 52 last quarter. I've always known he had good speed. We never really got into a 1500 before. He ran 3:55 indoor mile once. It's the only mile he ran, I believe, indoors. So we just want to do something different, get the wheels spinning, get the wheels turning. And really at that point, we hadn't decided about the 10 yet. We knew we were the 5 for sure, but we didn't know about the 10. So we're just like, okay, let's get the wheels turning, the legs turning a little bit more. And I thought he could score really high, and he needed the points in that event. So we say, hey, let's give that a shot. Let's go and see what we can do there.
Ricardo, obviously with maximum respect for Dylan Jacobs, so many of those guys, like it's very familiar, right? Like, I mean, you see Casey, you see Isai, you see James, right? How much comfort does that give Charles and Kai? They respect them exponentially, but just the familiarity and knowing kind of whose skill set and who likes to race tactically what way.
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge advantage to each other because each other know, like, those guys know how our guys race and vice versa. So it's one of those things where, like, it's a great field out there. Dylan ran a great race last year. He obviously had a rough day today, and that's the way it goes at NCAA. You got to be on, and just if you're a little bit off, it can mean not being in the top 8 and not scoring. Like, this meet is really hard. It's one of the, for their age group, it's the hardest meet in the world. And so it's like, you just tip your hat to all those guys out there running. This isn't your ideal 10K weather, although I think we did get a look as best as we could.
But for a guy from Florida and a guy from Australia,
yeah, I mean,
it's probably right up their alley.
It probably is, but I think too, it's one of those things where it's a great field, and they just got after it. And again, I'm just over the moon with how well Kai and Charles performed, and it's really great to see.
There really are a lot of guys. I mean, the Pac-12 champion Brian Fay didn't even run this race, right? I mean,
I mean, there's some really great athletes that weren't even here in this event. Maybe in another event, maybe didn't even make the meet at all. And so it's one of those things where when you make this meet, you got to cherish it. You got to use that experience. You got to really relish being here and the experience of being here because it's tough to get back.
And looking ahead, to cross country. I think the expectations for Stanford are always high, and to try to win it. Like, do you think this will give the guys a lot of confidence?
Yeah, I think it does. I haven't really thought too much about cross country. I mean, I'm more in the here and now. and then kind of see what happens after this weekend. And then once this weekend is done, we'll start looking at cross country. Had thoughts about it already, but my main focus has been on this weekend, getting the guys ready. But yeah, I mean, look, there's a lot of great teams out there. A lot of other teams that are up there are returning loaded teams. Teams that were, further back are going to be better. We're just going to work. And I know we're going to work in the summer. We're going to put ourselves in the best position to do as best as we can in the fall.
Thank you.